Hey everyone, this is Suresh from Mind is a Monkey coming at you guys with another episode of Let's Check Out Some Diecast. And in today's video, we are going to be unboxing some of the Matchbox mainline stuff that I picked up over the past few months, and I've been like sitting on them, trying to make a video, make a free to piece video here on the channel. So I also grabbed some of these Matchbox power grabs. Here in my locality, these are available at the Mayor chain of stores. So I just like figured that 2024 was not a very great year for Matchbox distribution, right? Now get me right. I'm not talking about Matchbox design, but distribution wise, I think, it was pretty busted. So, we see a lot of 2024 models pop up now. For example, this was a new model for 2024, and I did not remember seeing that earlier. And I think this Porsche was also a 2024 model. I did not remember seeing it on the regular packaging when Matchbox stuff hit stores in 2024. So so to my surprise, I found that whenever I used to hit Dollar Trees and stuff, oh wow, I've never seen the model, so let me pick it up. So let's dive right in. All right, so here goes. I'm not going to be opening these up in any specific order. I've got like about 30-40 cars. I think I should probably like keep it very brief so that it doesn't end up being like too long of a video for you guys. All right, so first we have the Matchbox EV school bus. Now the interesting thing that the interesting reason I got this was because it's at Matchbox School District, right? So this is a new casting for 2025. There we have it. All right, let me set it there. I think eventually at the end of it, we would go wider on the camera so that we can see all the models. Up next is a 90 Volkswagen Golf Country. So this has been like a recurring livery, Rough Rabbit the Third. So I think I've had a couple of other castings in this Rough Rabbit livery. So pretty cool nostalgic casting, that Volkswagen Golf. Up next is a Citroen EC4. Now there were some of these models which when I picked up I couldn't remember if I had them earlier or not, but I still went ahead and got it because I didn't want to miss out on them. So up next we have a pretty cool looking 1985 Porsche 911 Rally. We have seen a couple, maybe 4 releases of this car. This was also part of like the Matchbox Porsche series when they were celebrating the 70th year of Matchbox a couple of years ago. I think that was in 2023. All right. And up next, we have another new model for 2025. This is the 17 Toyota Land Cruiser 78. That's nice. Nice Toyota grille and classic Land Cruiser pipe that goes all the way up. Some fun details on the bed there, right? It's got a chainsaw and like towing cables and stuff like that. All right, let's set it there. Up next is another new model for 2025, the 2025 Ram 1500 REV. So I think this is the electric version of that car, of that pickup truck that we all know. So an EV version of the Ram. All right. And up next, we have another new model for 2025, which is the 1970 Citroen 2CV. Pretty vintage looking yellow right there, right? It's nice. So, and it says 2CV6602, right? So that goes in line with the name of the model, Citroen. Pretty cool, very vintage vibes. And up next we have a 2022 Ford Bronco Spirit. So I think we have seen a couple of oh, dang it. I think I was like partially blind when I read that. It's 2022 Ford Bronco Sport. I was almost about to make a statement saying that, oh, we have like a couple of models. One is a sport and the other one's a spirit, only to realize that I had actually totally misread the card. So Ford Bronco Sport, pretty cool model. And up next, we have like a fan favorite. This is a Matchbox field car, but the reason I called it a fan favorite is because of the livery that it's like sporting. So this is the very famous mint green National Parks livery, right? As you can see, it's Park Game Supervisor, satellite monitored, National Parks. So that is the symbol that stands for the National Parks on Matchbox cars. So pretty cool. It has like a stag's, emblem on it. It says Park Patrol. So pretty nice, pretty nice. It'll make a very nice addition to my set of National Park vehicles. Up next is another new model for 2025 is a 2023 BMW M2. I always have a fancy for Matchbox and BMW, right? I think they made a handful of these cars now and they make a very nice set. So I try to pick them up whenever I come across them, right? Okay, there we have it. Up next is another 2025 new model, 2024 Toyota Tacoma. I think the Toyota Tacoma and the Toyota 4Runner are, becoming very popular castings among collectors very fast, right? It's possibly because of the fact that folks can relate to these cars. Like these are cars that you frequent on roads out there, right? So even in Hot Wheels, right now, even though this is like a Matchbox unboxing, even in Hot Wheels, these two models have started gaining a lot of popularity. So hopefully we see more of those models. Up next we have a 2021 Koenigsegg Gemera. Right. All right. Okay. Wow. Now, you gotta dig this model for the looks, right? It's got a pretty sleek. It's probably the length of the car reminds me of a Lamborghini Aventador. So pretty nice, elegant looking model. And look at those headlights. Pretty cool, right? All right. So there we have Koenigsegg. Fun stuff. All right, there we have the Koenigsegg Gemera, and up next we have the Porsche Macan S. I'm wondering if the other Porsche that I have, okay, this is a 2022 Porsche Macan, while this is just a Porsche Macan S. All right, we will put them side by side. All right, pretty nice, simple colors, right? So not but pretty plastic finish though. I mean, this is metal, but I'm just like talking about the paint. Most of the Matchbox cars, right? I mean, they have that pretty plastic finish about them. Some folks dig it, some folks don't like that. Up next we have a Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk. A Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk. I think, I don't remember any of my friends who own a Jeep, but, if your friends own a Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk, I think maybe this is one of those castings you could definitely pick up at the store and gift it to them. And up next, we have a beautiful 2020 Corvette C8. Wow, that green, right? It's kind of like an electric green that really pops out. So pretty fun looking model right there. And up next, we have a 2012 BMW 3 Series Touring. And this is also like a classic color in Matchbox, right? Wow. Now, some of those models, right? So this is what I meant, right? When I said some of the models come in a pretty plastic paint job, right? Now, look at this. This one is definitely a very metallic looking paint job, right? So fun. So this model kind of like made its debut a couple of years ago. I think it debuted in black. So this will definitely make a nice pair model to it. And up next, we have a 2021 Lexus LC500. This is another new model for 2025. And it says it's an official licensed product of Toyota. So there we have. I really dig the metal flake finish on this. Are you seeing that? You see that? You see what I'm saying? So the metal flake finish on this car is what made me buy it, because I try to shy away from these convertibles, because it's not easy putting them in storage, but I still had to go get this one because of that metal flake paint job. So I really dig that. All right, moving up, we have a 2020 Corvette. Now I think, see, I mean, this was Matchbox 70 years, which means this is probably an older car, and there's a good deal. I have it somewhere, but I couldn't remember owning this. That's why I picked it up when I saw it in a Dollar Tree or somewhere. So there we have a 2020 Corvette. So definitely, I tend to see a lot of these Corvettes on the roads. I mean, if it was ever a neighbor, maybe I'll pick one for that person. All right, up next we have a recolor of the Rivian R1T. Now I think this was probably a brand new tooling for 2024, where it was like gray variation. Now this was interesting recolor in blue, right? Nice choice of wheels. I really like those contrasting hubs, the color for the hubs that they chose. All right, we'll set it there. Up next is a beautiful classic model, a 1977 Jaguar XJ6C. Pretty sweet. I think this is also not a new model for this year, so I'm assuming this should have made a debut like an year back, and I faintly remember it being like in a light blue color, maybe, or possibly white. Can't remember off the top of my head, but definitely a very beautifully executed vintage car. Very, very elegant in its curves, right? Beautiful. Let's set it right there, and let's move up. Up next we have a Morgan +4. Check that logo out, a Morgan +4. This is pretty cool. I wanted to show the card art as well. There we have the Morgan +4. Ooh, check that grill out. It's very similar to the card art. A Morgan +4, very beautiful looking model. Again, this one's a recolor. I remember a previous one in a golden color, right? If I'm not wrong. Up next, we have an 2023 Alfa Romeo Tonale, or Tonale. I hate killing the names of these cars. I probably gotta look it up next time. All right. So we have seen this car like a couple of times, and I think Matchbox Moving Parts also had this car. So this is possibly its counterpart in the Matchbox mainline, production. All right. So let's set it there. And up next, see, wow, I got a duplicate. I just opened this guy not too long ago, a 2023 BMW M2. So this one's an extra, so I'll set it aside. All right. And up next, we have a 1968 Chevy C10. Wow, check that color out. I think this one is probably modeled after like a real factory color that used to exist. Look at that, metal flake gold paint, right? So looks like a factory color to me, right? It has a lot of vintage vibes, beautiful square body truck, the 1968 Chevy C10. All right, let's set it there. Up next, we have a new model for 2025, a 2023 Dodge Charger Pursuit. I used to have like a truckload of these police cars, and at some point I ended up stopping to pick them up because there were just like too many of these. But I had to pick this up because it was really looking very neat. Police livery, 1509, 25, possibly designating the year of this car. All right, let's set it there. Up next, and possibly the last carded car for today, is a 2019 Subaru Forester. So My son has a thing for Subarus, so he's probably going to be pumped when he sees this on the table tomorrow. So a 2019 Subaru Forester. Yeah, it's very nice because this is also one of those cars that you very frequently see on the roads. So definitely a great, a simple but a very one of those kits that's very simple but has a personal touch to it. If you find someone who owns the car, then you give them, they'll be thrilled, right? All right, Subaru. All right, Subaru Forester. All right, the first Matchbox power grab of the day. Monarch EV tractor. I was like, wow, that looks cool. So I had to grab it. Oh boy, I'm massacring the packaging here. All right, but anyway, these are all gonna go into a carton where I kind of like store them. Pretty nice tractor, actually. I mean, if your kids are ever gonna have like farm projects or something in their schools, I mean, this would make the perfect accessory, right? So that's possibly many times that's the main reason why I end up picking these up. Up next, we have a 2022 Ford F-150 Lightning. These come wrapped up in these papers. Ooh, wow. I mean, I did not get the idea that this was like a black car from the packaging, right? So, I mean, for some reason, I wasn't paying attention, but nice matte black finish, Ford grille, and F-150 on the rear. So some fun details for that price point, I should say. All right, up next we have a 1986 Volvo 240. Now this one also happens to be one of those models that I couldn't really remember whether I had it or not, but I just picked it up just in case. Wow, really beautiful. Check that out. I mean, we just opened this not too long ago, and this one's definitely a different shade of brown, but look at that metal flake. Wow, right? So this is a Volvo 1986. Oh, nice year. So 1986 Volvo 240. Pretty beautiful, right? Nice. Nice classic Volvo grille. And it says Ruby 240. Nice. Matchbox Ruby 240. Wonder what the Ruby stands for. Maybe it's an Easter egg. Should ask a Matchbox designer. All right. Up next, we have the 2022 Porsche Macan. Sorry, it's taking me a few seconds to get these out of the packaging. So Porsche Macan looks pretty similar. This one just looks like a tad longer to me, right? But other than that, it looks very similar. Like the wheelbases are, of course. I mean, when I put it like that, it's like almost the same. Let me zoom out a little. When I put these like that, they're like almost the same, right? All right. I mean, even the front, the grille, everything looks very similar. Okay, so there we have the 20. Was it 2022? I dropped the packaging down. 2022 Porsche Macan. All right. Up next, we have a pretty fun-looking van. This is the 75 Chevy van. So I clearly remember passing on this back when I found it as a carded car, but then there was something about it that I had to pick it up. Rough Rider Mobile Dog Spa. Wow, check that out. All right, so let me zoom in a little so that you get in these details. So a 75 Chevy van, it says Rough Rider Mobile Dog Spa. So pretty cool. Definitely a must-add for van lovers. All right, let me set it there. Up next, we have a pretty solid looking Volvo XC40. Wow, check that out. Wow, That's a really nice looking car. Has got a pretty enamel finish to it, right? So the Volvo XC40. I gotta kind of like go back to my emails and see if there was ever a time when I drove this car as a rental, right? So fun stuff. I definitely remember driving a Volvo. Not sure if it was like a Volvo XC40. And up next, see, you see, this is what exactly I was talking about. So this one happens to be a new model for 2024, but I did not remember picking it up earlier. So this is a 1983 Ford Fiesta Mark II. And I think I probably gotta find like a better way of storing my loose Matchbox cars so that it's easier to kind of like go figure it out by ear or something like that. I definitely need better organization skills there. So if you have any suggestions, okay, please leave them in the comments. I mean, how do you typically keep, do you store your models by year of release, or do you store your models by the model, right? So let me know in the comments. But you know, very fun looking model. It almost reminds me of a Volkswagen Golf, right? But this one is a 1983 Ford Fiesta Mark II. All right, the last model for today's video. Hopefully it did not run too long. So it's a Ford Police Interceptor, but the reason I picked this up was for the livery that it's sporting, for the deco that this is sporting. This is the Forest Service deco, right? As you can see there, it says Forest Ranger, Fire Rescue, Interceptor, and everything. So now, if you guys did not know, this is national parks and this is Forest Service, right? So they are designed by the Matchbox designer Michael Heralda, Adlar58 on Instagram. And I think back in the days when he started, these two were kind of like supposed to be like a very, they were supposed to be a single deco, but then at some point he figured that it kind of like branched out into Forest Service and national parks, and these two are very popular among collectors. All right, so that's our lineup of cars today. What is your favorite? Leave a comment. Till I meet you guys next time, this is Suresh signing off. Rock on and stay awesome. Bye everyone.